I, the pure consciousness, or I, the sense of self-awareness, would, would manifest the words of truth, the words of absolute justice, and the words of absolute wisdom through his finite mind and through his finite body. I, the pure consciousness, or the sense of self-awareness, would act like a mirror to you and would show you the picture you are portraying. Blessings to be the listener or the one who is seeking for the truth, but not seeking the monetary gain, but not wants to flourish herself or himself or their tiny little family on the expense of others. Blessings be on the truth seeker, but not the person who is living a life of selfishness. Blessings to be on the truth seeker, the one who has got the quest to know the truth. Whether it's a herself or it's a himself. I was in a company, before we get into our topic, as you can see the caption, which is Bhagavad Gita. I want to present a couple of humans before we get into that topic. The reason I am going to present these humans because half of the humanity is acting in such a way. You see, they want to be flourish. They want their little tiny family to be flourish and healthy. They don't care about anybody else. They want to have money, monetary gain, and then they say they overthink. And they want to get a position and they want to get money so they can only be flourished. They are not concerned about anybody else. That's the sign of extreme selfishness. And then they don't want to overthink and they want to be happy. And then this is half of you humans are living. Half of you humans are living this way. Then you ask me or you say, I wish I could have that. I wish my mind always overthinking. I wish I could have just, I could not have a thought in my mind. No, you cannot have it both ways. Your unhealthy way of living, your selfish way of living, and then you want to be happy and you don't want to overthink. It's not gonna happen. It would never ever happen. Not only in this lifetime, but the lifetime after and the after and the after. It would never happen. And the reason it would never happen, because you want to flourish your life and you want to have stability in your life in the expense of others. You expect in the back of your mind that a mystic or a healer or a rishi would silently read your wishes and mind and would make them come true. That would never happen. This is, as Rumi said, the beautiful Rumi, that this is your road and your road alone. Nobody is going to walk it for you. You know, every now and then somebody would tag along to help you walk, but that's it. After that, it's just solely your road. Whatever you, whatever goes around, it comes around. Whatever you do, you would see the consequences. You would see the effect of it. You cannot have it both ways. That you want to gain your monetary gain, you want to work for your position, and you want to earn tons of money, and then you want to be happy, and then you don't want to overthink. That would never happen. You can write my words somewhere so you remember. If you need to if you want to be happy, and if you have a desire to be happy, then you need to change the corrupt ways you are living. You see? Then you need to change the corrupt ways you are living. It's not a judgment. This I can see through you. And half of the humans I see are like this, unfortunately and sadly. They don't see they are really ill, and there is no problem they want to deal with. The truth of the matter is that you are ill. I'm not saying everybody is like that, but this person, a few days ago, when this person mentioned, then I said, these humans don't want to change the ways they are living, and then they want to be happy, and they don't want to overthink. That would never happen. Not everybody is like that, but a large amount of humanity is living that way. That's number one. This person I met, and I could see through this person. You see, you don't want to change the ways, but you want to be happy on the expense of others. Nobody can do that for you. You need to do it for yourself. Second is through my YouTube channel, where I constantly put the retreat and the messages from divine and from sacred. Um, I am engaged in this project during the week, but I always make time for humankind, because humankind unfortunately is miserable. Humankind has the suffering the most of it, unfortunately, and humankind does not want to put efforts to do something about it, but always look outside, either to a religious figure, either it's a mullah, it's a rabbi, it's a priest, it's a swami, or a Hindu holy man, or all these people. Humans have learned. You understand? Humans have learned to depend on others. That somebody somehow would magically do something for us, but we are not going to put any efforts. This is kind of mind frame half of the humanity is living. We are hoping that what we consider, if somebody is close to the sacred, so we want to go to that person and we want to ask them, can you get this done for me, or can you make my wish come true? Things like that. That would never happen. You can live in an illusion. These kind of religious figures, they would, take money from you. They would like the power trip, thus the respect and the importance you are given to these kind of religious figures. They would take advantage, and in the end, and they would give you false hopes. That's one of the things a rishi or a wise man does not do. A rishi or a wise man does not give you false hope. A rishi or a wise man does not tell you everything is gonna be okay. Just chant this or chant that, or in the name of the Lord, or this and that. These are all the games of these religious figures. You see, a wise man, a sage, a rishi, a proper yogi does not do that to you. A proper yogi, a wise man, a rishi shows you the true picture. It, he does not give you false hope that everything would be okay. By the way, don't forget to make the donation. You see what I'm saying? So this fella, as you know, I never mention any names, what kind of color person carried, what race, what part of the world this person is coming from, how the person was speaking. These things are some useless information which has no reality nor it's serving any purpose. It's enough to say that it was a being or a human being, and sadly and unfortunately, half of the humanity is living that way. Just so you know, unfortunately. This person through the YouTube channel approached me, um, and they said, "Oh, by the way, it looks very mystic, or it looks very majestic, or this, or that, or that. So, can you please help me get some money?" I said to this person that, what does that mean that I can, if I can help you to get you some money, you see? And this person said, like a spell, or like a mantra, or like a charm. So money would happen and I would become a better person. You see, half of the humanity on this planet, these humans unfortunately have made, these type of humans unfortunately have made this planet very sick, that because they say that, can you do that for me so I can become a better person and I can acquire some education. So the concept or the idea of a better person now is to acquire education or acquire money. This is the idea of a better person in the mind of humanity, or half of the humanity, that human is thinking that if I get some money and I can acquire some better education, then I would become a better person. What is the definition in your mind for the better person, and what really is the better person are two entirely separate things. The definition most of the humans do in their mind about the better person is totally the opposite of what really a better person is. Please remember that. Okay. That's number one. So I told this person, no, I cannot help you. Um, if you want to become a better person, maybe you should just keep watching the words of truth and wisdom on my YouTube channel, and something may just click in your mind. But they keep asking the same question. Of course, it's going to lead you to block. I would block you in the blink of an eye. You see, you wouldn't even know what happened so quickly, because I don't spend my time for on somebody who does not want to be helped, but want to be flourish and gain and have some monetary gain or some type of title or position on the expense of others. The one who does not want to put the efforts towards their well-being. As Swami Yoga Ananda said, I quote Swami Yoga Ananda basically a lot, because he deserved to be quoted. You understand why I'm saying he deserved to be quoted? That's why I quote Swami Yoga Ananda a lot. So, as Swami Yoga Ananda said, that there nothing special happens after you die. These are the words of Swami Yoga Ananda. You would see why I am telling you this. You would see the point of it. Nothing special happens after you die. You just leave the body, and the reasoning aspect of your mind or is gone, of course, because you just leave the body, but you don't merely turn into an angel just merely by dying. You understand? Are you following his words? You do not suddenly turn into an angel merely by dying. If you lived your life like a thug, if you lived your life like a culprit, if you lived your life like a thief, like a selfish person, if you lived your life like a hypocrite, if you lived your life like a corrupt person, or a self centered person, you do not suddenly turn into an angel merely by dying. Nothing changes. You remain what you have made yourself so far to that point. You see, you remain what you have made out of yourself till that point. You remain exactly the same. And then in this kind, if you have gathered all these traits, you are going to linger for an unknown period of time in that state till this kind of frequency finds another womb. It would go nowhere. Nowhere it would go. It would just go to that womb. When the frequency of your tendencies finds another womb. And then when you reincarnate, when you come back, you bring all those nasty negative traits with you. So if you want to make the change, if you want to change the karma, that's why uh, I chose the topic Bhagavad Gita too, because Gita explains to us that how to use the free will and to change the karma you have accumulated in numerous and numerous lifetimes before. So, going back quickly and finishing up to Swami Yoga Ananda, as he said, when you come back, after you find the womb, and when you come back, you bring all that nasty and negative habits with you. So, if you want to change that into a pleasant human being, if you want to change that being pleasant, then you need to make the change, and this world basically is the place, and this time is now to make the change. Are you following? This world is basically the place, and this time is now. If you need to make the change, you need to put efforts. Nobody can do that for you. You see, you can use substances, you can use alcohol, you can create addictions such as overeating, any type of games, any type of addiction. Addiction means now you are compulsive with a habit, and you unfortunately are compulsive with a habit. You are identified with that habit. So you can do all that, and in the end, unfortunately, you would hurt yourself and nothing would change. your spiritual being would not change. It would remain. If it is sick and it has all these nasty traits, it would remain exactly if you don't make the change. So in order to make the change, you have to take initiative. My words here, the words of truth, the words of wisdom would help you tremendously if you are open to these words, because I tell you how it is. I have no hypocrisy in me, you see, but in the end you have to put the efforts to change the picture. So topic I have chosen is Bhagavad Gita. You know what Gita is? Gita is basically the sacred book in Hinduism. I want to basically clarify. um, Gita basically is a sacred book. Gita is the sacred book in Hinduism. I want to clarify that Hinduism, like the monotheistic religions, I don't want to mention any names here, nor this is my job, is petty. I don't waste my time refuting a human construct such as religion, or comparing Hinduism with any type of human constructs or any type of a religion or monotheistic religions. All these monotheistic religions or any type of religions, these are all human constructs. These are the construction, invention are the humans. These are not coming from sacred. You can find some sacred in it. Some sacred you can find in it. I am not denying altogether or neglecting what they tell you. You may find some wisdom in it, but I can guarantee you my life. These are all human constructs, okay? Hinduism is not a religion, first of all. Hinduism is a series of spiritual practices. Hinduism is a series of self exploration. Hinduism is a series of knowing oneself, basically. That's what Hinduism is. Being a Hindu is a geographical identity as well as all that. Hinduism has nothing to do with any religion. In Hinduism, we have millions and billions of gods because in Hinduism, we realize the truth. We can see the truth, and the truth is basically um, that God is our own creation. You understand? The source of creation is from within. The source of creation basically is the same in everything and everyone. You see, that's what Bhagavad Gita tells you. Bhagavad Gita tells you that if you are not feeling pleasant, if you have tons and tons of karma attached to you in this lifetime, there is a chance you can undo the karma by putting efforts. You see, Bhagavad Gita gives you hope that you can change the picture of your life. You can see me a little more clearly now. You see, Bhagavad Gita brings you out from the darkness, and Bhagavad Gita brings you into the light. You see the difference between Bhagavad Gita and rest of these human constructs. Bhagavad Gita is the book full of wisdom which can give you the guideline to change the karma you accumulated through numerous lifetimes, through numerous jivan or numerous carnations, and if they are not pleasant, you can change that by taking charge of yourself fully. You see, um, the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. You see, you understand the dialogue between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita, the magnitude of the wisdom this book encompasses, is one of the most liberated books on the face of this planet. But if you get Bhagavad Gita in Hindi, Sanskrit, English, even, um, it's difficult for you to comprehend some of the things until unless you go to a Swami or a holy man and you ask them what to do or interpret it for me. But the good news is I also am here and I can highlight uh, or make some of the good things right now to make it prominent. You see, there are people, you see those people, you may be one of them, I may be one of them. No, as I always mention to you, there is no better. I am not better than you. You are not better than me either. You see, you are not better than me, and I am not better than you. It's just the way cosmos and nature works is who is more aware and who is less aware of the truth. Are you following what I'm saying to you? The way the cosmos and the nature works is who is more aware and who is less aware of the truth, who knows what's happening for sure and who does not know what's happening. If you don't know, you see, Bhagavad Gita brings you that clarity. If you do not know what's happening, then I see both. I see the software basically, which is bringing you results at the front end, and the hardware, which basic without hardware there is no software. You cannot have a software running if there is no hardware. So I know what's running in the software. I also know what's running in the hardware. I see both. This three-dimensional reality that you experience, it's a very narrow band. You see, this three-dimensional reality that you experience is a very narrow band. If you need to see the truth, then you need to see what's going on in the software and what's going on in the hardware both. Because hardware, through the hardware, the results are being generated. You get fascinated, you become very confined, or you become totally enchanted with the three-dimensional reality, and then you say this is it. You have a tiny little family, you make a few friends, you create a few followers on Facebook and on other social media, and you put some pictures over there. You go to a job 9 to 5, 5 days a week, and you have weekends off, and then you try to do some stuff every now and then, travel to other places to bring some happiness in your life, and you firmly believe that this is it. You see, if you firmly believe this is it, you are stuck. Bhagavad Gita tells you that. If you firmly believe that this is it, then you are stuck. Bhagavad Gita tells you that you are stuck. Then there is no growth. You see, if you firmly believe that this is it, then you are stuck. Then there is no growth. Growth means whatever the karma you have accumulated in the previous lifetimes, you are sharing the karma consciously. That's what growth is. Growth does not mean that I am growing financially. Growth does not mean that I am growing as far as education. Growth does not mean that I am physically growing. These are all abstract growths which have no um, these are all abstract growths which have no truth in reality. In reality, there is only one growth, which is how far or how close you are to the light. That's that's the only growth we have. So if you are stuck in 9 to 5, a small tiny little family, a few friends, a social circle, every now and then traveling and saying this is it, then there is no growth. Your growth has stopped now. You would come back over and over and over and over and over and over. You would come back. You see, such a person, I mean, such a person, you understand what I'm saying? One would keep coming back. One would come back, do the same thing, the same 9 to 5 job, forming a friends, the little tiny family, maybe the same relatives, pretty much the same circumstances, and the same. One would experience the same over, and then one would be born again, one would die again, then one would be born again, and then one would die again. Then one would born again, and then one would die again. This thing would keep repeating countless times. It would not change anything, nothing would change, you see, because there is no growth. You're stuck at this point. You are stuck totally. Growth is when you understand what's really going on. Growth is when you understand what is the purpose of life. Why I keep coming back over and over. That is what growth is. That is what truth is. That's all. The one who can see that truth, then the person makes changes, some amendments in their life. You understand what I'm saying? Then the person does not, you see, then the person does not look at the narrow band, then the person does not look at the narrow band, then the person look at the broad band. You see, the person does not look at the narrow band, but the person looks at the broad band. You see, because through the broad band you can achieve the results. You see, through the broadband you can see things more clearly. You see, that's what happens. Through the broadband you learn to um, through the broadband you learn to see the truth as the truth is happening. You see, that's what is important. Bhagavad Gita tells you, and Bhagavad Gita talks a lot about dharma and karma, which I'm pronouncing it in a very traditional Indian way. Of course, if you are living in West and you have a westernized tongue, you cannot pronounce it in this way. But it doesn't matter how you pronounce it. It doesn't matter how you say it. These are just the words uh, indicating to phenomena which are happening in the nature and the manifestation of life. Bhagavad Gita talks about dharma and Bhagavad Gita talks about karma. You see what I'm saying to you? Bhagavad Gita talks about dharma and Bhagavad Gita talks about karma, or what you understand in West is karma. People usually say karman. That's the real word from Sanskrit. Bhagavad Gita talks so much about karma. Karma is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita countless times. You see, karma in Bhagavad Gita is mentioned countless times. Karma is the reason, Bhagavad Gita tells you, karma is the reason you keep taking life after life after life, and if you are stuck, you are stuck, you are going back and forth, get back and forth. When you are going back and forth, it's common sense and it's pure wisdom that you can see. When you are going back and forth, are you making progress forward or no? It zero it out, isn't it? You made progress, then you came back to the same point. So this action basically is zeroing it out, means on break even, you are not making any progress. You understand what I'm saying? If you going back and forth, if you keep going back and forth, it means that you are not making any progress further. It means that you are zeroing, you are zero, means you have not made any progress, means there is no progress. And if there is no progress, there is only the repetitions of the lesson. That's what Bhagavad Gita tells you in a nutshell. If the productivity or the progress in the end is zero, then there you are not moving forward. You see, you are not sharing the karma because you don't even realize the reason you are taking birth. Are you following what I'm saying? Because you don't realize that the reason you are taking birth after birth after birth, because it is giving you, the entire cosmos is giving you an opportunity basically to learn the lessons of life. The entire cosmos is giving you an opportunity to learn the lessons from life. You see, life becomes a teacher in a nutshell. That's what Bhagavad Gita tells you. And then you shed the karma and you finally realize God within. That is the goal of human, um, taking human form, that you finally realize God within. You see, so Bhagavad Gita talks a lot about karma. Karma is the reason that you come back. If there is no karma, there is no coming back. You see, the seeds of karma are not only planted by your action, but also the seeds of karma are planted in the mind. First is the thought or the seed. You see, Bhagavad Gita tells you that first is the thought. Thought is a seed in the mind. Make no mistake, realize what I am saying to you. Make no mistake. If you have a nasty thought in your mind, and if you did not act on that negative or nasty thought, but you still have the thought, you are accumulating karma. Karma does not mean that you have to physically act on it. If you think ill about others, if you think selfish about others, Bhagavad Gita is telling you the way karma works. It doesn't matter whether you, it matters not. It matters not whether you act on the thought. You understand what I'm saying to you? It matters not whether you act on the thought. Even if you just have a nasty thought or ill feeling or ill thinking about other humans, about your fellow humans or any of the creatures, you see, you are accumulating karma. Karma is being accumulated as much as you have a thought in your mind. Whether you, so make no mistake, you see, it matters not whether you are going to act on it, but what your intention is, what's in your heart, what is the intention you have. If the intention is ill, if the intention is sick, you are accumulating more karma. Forget about the growth. Most people, when they come to this life, when they take the carnation, you see what I'm saying? Most people, when they take the carnation and when they come to this life, they, before they are born or before they take birth, they plan in that realm, the realm between this planet realm and the limbo situation. They say, this time, yes, this time I'm going to do this time I'm going to do that, I'm going to remember this time, you see, I'm definitely going to do it. And what happens is, in the end, as soon as they arrive here, of course, the brain is new, so you do not remember anything from the previous lifetime, and it is good, of course, for a reason. Nature does not allow that with healthy reasons. So when you arrive, then you say, um, you forget everything because the brain is new. Then you take on the human conditioning and the human domestication. Then you say, this is it. And then you accumulate more and more karma. The karma from the previous lifetimes. Not only that, but that actually instigate the new karma because the brain is new. Of course, the brain is new, so there is no memory from the previous lifetimes. But the karma from previous lifetimes is perfectly intact. It's not going to go anywhere. So instead of sharing the karma consciously by creating sufficient distance from your mind and your body, you can see where you are accumulating more karma and where you are sharing karma. But no, you don't. You make foolish choices, you see. I am very outspoken and I am very upfront with you, because if I don't tell you where the problem is, you would never realize that. You don't take time to know yourself. You can only know when you are boarding on a thought which is accumulating more karma, when you have created a distance between what you essentially are and what your mind is. You see, remember, we don't want to forget the rubber band ball. Too many rubber bands attached to each other, forming a rubber band ball. You try to follow one rubber band, and before you even know, you are boarding on another rubber band and rubber bands after rubber bands. You see, it's just like that. If you don't have sufficient distance between the mind and yourself, you wouldn't even know that when you boarded on one thought, and then you boarded on another, and then you boarded on another, you wouldn't even realize the thought you are having is an ill thought about your fellow human or any of the forms of life in the creation. You would know all this. You would say it is natural, and you would just go wherever this takes you. You see, unfortunately, because you have not created sufficient distance. You don't want to do simple practice because your mind tells you if you have to attain happiness, then you have to do things complicated. Your mind tells you your happiness is hidden in something outside of you or some religious figure, you see. and then you do this over and over and over, and you don't learn the lesson. You would only learn the lesson when you realize that only turning inwards would help me find concrete happiness. Only by yoga and only by meditation, only by kriya, I would create sufficient distance between what I essentially am and what the mind is. I would know before I am boarding on a thought that if this thought is coming from devil, if this thought is coming from demon, if this thought is creating fear in me, if this thought is bringing ill feelings about my fellow humans, then you would not board on the nasty thoughts. Then you would know if I board on this thought, I would accumulate or I would incur more karma. Whatever the word you want to use it doesn't matter basically. The words are not real. You can use tons of words, but it is pointing out to the same concrete reality. You see, it is pointing out to the same concrete reality. Words are not important here. What is important is how alert you are. How alert you are that you can see which thought is going to get you accumulate more karma and what actions you are doing during the day when you are sharing the karma. There comes a time in one's life, as Bhagavad Gita says, there comes a time in one's life there remains no karma. When there remains no karma, you see, are you following what Bhagavad Gita is telling you? When there remains no karma, there is no body now. Because the karma is gone, the lifetimes are gone. You become the Atman merges with the Brahman. You see, the sense of individuality is gone. You see, the sense of individuality is gone now. Now it's all the infinite field which has no boundaries of awareness, of Brahman. I may carry on tomorrow also, giving you some more wisdom through Bhagavad Gita. I may. Right now, it's the time for me to conduct a private meditation session. We have some time, but it's about time for the private meditation session. But we have some time, so let's meditate here while we are on it. Oh.